In this video, I'm going to share with you the secret to exporting your videos in high quality in Premiere Pro 2022. Stick around. Tyler here from Video Editing with Tyler White, and if you want to learn how to edit video like a pro, start now by subscribing and hitting the bell so you don't miss anything. Once I have Premiere opened up, the first thing I'm going to do is go up to File, New, Sequence. And I shot this video at 1080p, 24 frames per second, so I'm just going to drop down digital SLR right here, drop down 1080p and select 1080p, 24 frames per second and press OK. Then I'm gonna go ahead and drag my clip onto the timeline. And for the sake of this tutorial, I'm gonna go ahead and say that I've completely finished editing this video and I'm now ready to export it. So first thing I'm gonna do is capture the area on the timeline that I want this video to be exported. So I'm gonna go to the very beginning of my footage and I'm going to press I on the keyboard to create an endpoint. And then I'm gonna go to the very end of my footage and press O on the keyboard to select an out point. And that area that is highlighted on the timeline is the area that's going to be exported. Then I'm gonna go up here to File, Export, Media. And the first thing I'm gonna do is go up here and change the format to H.264. For preset, I'm gonna go ahead and just bypass this, leave it at match source because it's gonna change to custom here in just a sec. And then for output name, I'm gonna click on this and I'm gonna go ahead and name my file and choose the location to where I want to save it. And then I'm just gonna click save. Next, I'm gonna make sure that export video and export audio are both checked because I want the audio and the video to both be exported together. And I'm gonna go ahead and review my summary settings. Then I'm gonna go down here to the basic video settings and I want this to be set to 1920 by 1080. If it's not, just go ahead and uncheck this box here, unlink this box here, and then you can manually type in 1920 by 1080. Then we go ahead and relink this. You can also do this by selecting match source. Then I'm gonna scroll down here to frame rate and I'm going to uncheck this box and select whatever frame rate I want to export my video at. So I'm gonna go ahead and select 23.976. For field order, it should be set to progressive. Aspect should be set to square pixels 1.0, and then check the box for render at maximum depth. Then I'm gonna go ahead and scroll down here to the encoding settings, and the encoding settings are really going to affect how fast your video exports. So you have two options here. You can select hardware encoding or software encoding. And hardware encoding is going to utilize available hardware for quicker encoding. So what that means is that if you have a strong enough GPU on your computer, when you select hardware encoding, it's going to use that GPU and it's going to export your video out that much faster. A lot of computers don't have that strong GPU, so therefore you have to select software encoding. Next, I'm going to go down here to profile and I'm going to change this to high. And then for level, I'm going to change this to 4.2. Now when you change it to 4.2, if it changed anything, just go back and fix this. So it changed my frame rate, so I'm going to change this back to 23.976 and then scroll back down. And then for HDR graphics, I want to go ahead and uncheck this box and then make sure that it is set to 203, 75%, and then scroll down to your bitrate settings. Bitrate settings can really affect your file size, but they can also really increase the quality of your video. Let me explain. So the first option that we have is going to be CBR, which stands for constant bitrate, which means that your bitrate is going to remain constant throughout the entire export process. And so for constant bitrate, I like to drag this all the way over here as far as I can, as high as I can, and this is going to make your video look the best quality that it can possibly be. But unfortunately, it has significantly increased the file size of your video. So the other options that you have are VBR 1-pass and VBR 2-pass. And VBR just stands for variable bitrate. And the difference between VBR 1-pass and 2-pass is the number of passes that Premiere Pro does whenever it's exporting and addressing those areas in your video that require more bitrate. So I like to go ahead and just select VBR 1-pass because it makes almost no difference whenever you select VBR 2-pass, and it also takes twice as long when you're exporting your video. Additionally, if you opted for hardware encoding, you're not going to be able to select VBR 2-pass anyways. So here's my secret. Select VBR 1-pass and then change your target bitrate to 30. And you'll see that your file size has went down, and whenever you export your video, it's going to still look really good. So then what I'm going to do is scroll down here and make sure that I check use maximum render quality and go up here to the audio tab. For these audio settings, you want to make sure the audio format is set to AAC. For basic audio settings, for the audio codec, it should be selected as AAC as well. Sample rate should be set to 48,000 Hertz. Channels should be set to stereo. Bitrate settings should be set to 320. And then once you've done that, now what I want to do, so I don't have to go through these steps every single time again, I'm going to go up here to save preset. And I'm going to name this best export settings and then press OK. And then for preset, whenever you go in here next time, you can just click that and it will select all the same settings that we had. Once you've done that, go ahead and select export. Continue to perfect your skills by checking out this video. Edit like a pro by subscribing and hitting the bell so you don't miss anything. I'll see you in the next video.